I see her. She's extremely beautiful.
I'm Michael.
Please be seated.
I don't think I can do this.
Mavs is shady. How could they start by showing us Michael being stood up at the altar? Yeah, I can't see why the bride would stand him up, the way he was dressed, the way... It's okay for someone to express themselves in how they dress, but that was a bit over the top. And the bachelor party and bachelorette party, oh God, the producers are really messy. They really are. And I am on pins and needles because I know somebody's going to be the terrible spouse this season, and I can't wait to see who it is. It looks like it's going to be Emily, but I might be wrong. Anyway, I digress. Hey there, thanks for stopping by. It's that time again, Married at First Sight USA. So in this episode, I'll be reviewing season 17, episode 1. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. Click the like button, turn on the notification for when I upload new videos, leave a comment, and definitely share. Mavs is messy. They're messy because how are they going to start with a couple whereby the partner was dumped at the altar and they don't even show the lady's face? What are they protecting? She decided to sign up for this show. She decided not to get married, and now she wants her privacy protected. Well, I don't know. I know that one thing for sure, Twitter is going to find her. They will find her. She can run, but she cannot hide. They will find her. So we see a clip of Michael at the altar. Oh my God. He had this crown and he had, this sword for I don't know why. And the bride walks up on her own because the friends were teasing him and saying that, one of her friends is sending her a message to say the guy you're getting married to is very strange looking. And I think the producers must have persuaded her to come out and say no to him. So she comes out and she says, I can't do this. And she goes off, and we see Michael sort of being consoled by his friends. We then find out he's 38 years old. He's in IT. He's done very well for himself career-wise, but he's an acquired taste in the sense that he reminds me of Bennett, but the difference is he actually has a stable job, whereas Bennett didn't. So I don't know. It's a pity he was stood up at the altar, but hey, it is what it is. It could be he was saved a lot of heartache because some guys have really struggled after marrying people that didn't like them. So, kudos to him for being left at the altar. The next couple to be married, so we don't even get to see the bride or hear anything about her or her history. They just phased her out completely and just told us that she stood him up and that was it. The next couple is Brennan and Emily. And Emily's friends, oh my God, the shade, they're very messy. Well, one of them actually said that Emily has not been in a relationship before, so they're surprised that, she's going from not being in a relationship to suddenly wanting to get married. I don't know what she sold to the experts. Because they then match her up with Brennan, whose parents have been married for a long time. But he says that their communication was awful as a couple. And so he's grown up in this toxic environment where his family or his parents are always arguing because their communication is terrible. And he's saying that, to him, marriage is for life. He's only going to get married once. It's like, well, but, as his friend said, you can't stay in a marriage just because you're going to do it once. If you're not happy, then you need to leave the relationship. You can't stay in a relationship just because you're married to someone. So I don't know. We'll see how that plays out, but it looks like it's going to be a hot mess. The friends, Emily's friends, one of them actually spoke on camera and said, I don't think she's ready for marriage. She doesn't have the qualities to be in a relationship, more or less saying that she's not willing to compromise, or she lacks the caring qualities, or she doesn't have empathy. I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully she's not one of those, girls on the show that just makes somebody else's life miserable. But hey, I digress. We'll see how it plays out. So the next couple is Orian and Lauren. And to me, they come across as they are bi-curious, either one of them. Because Orian says that, he did explore, he did go on a date with a man, and then the man gave him a kiss, and then he was done. That was it for him. He realized that it wasn't it for him. So says, he is very curious. I think he is bi-curious, but he would rather be with a woman. He is a Native American. He says that his grandparents were married for 60 something years, so that's what he's looking for in a relationship. He comes across as very strange, as Bennett Strange, not creepy strange, but Bennett Strange, as in you really can't understand what he's up to. So I don't know. We'll see how that plays out. I don't know whether he's Lauren's type of guy. Lauren says she's open to anyone when it comes to her relationship or her dating. That's the impression that I got, that she herself comes across as bi-curious, so she wants someone who's open to the idea that she might be adventurous and she might, want to date other people, not just her partner, so not just the sex of the person that she's married to. Her family is surprised that she's decided to do this. Even Orian's family are surprised that he's decided to go through with the experiment, but they are all supportive and want what's best for her. Obviously, they're both ethnic minorities, and they're worried that their partner be understanding of their culture, and will they be open to learn or to explore. And Orion said he really wanted someone who was willing to learn, someone who was open to the idea of being married to a Native American man and getting to know about his culture and how he grew up. So I wish them all the best. And then you have the next guy to be sort of hitched. So I don't know. They're quite a strange couple. They remind me of, I think it was Emily and Bennett. And so I don't know how that's going to play out. Next up is Austin. Austin's mom is not feeling it. She's not here for that. You can tell she's very uncomfortable, because she was saying to him, he needs to understand that there are people's feelings involved in this process and it's not a game. So he needs to make sure that if this is what he chooses to do, he is definitely serious about it. His parents have been married for a long time. He's a young man who has lived in Denver and is really looking for his life partner, and so is open to the idea of the experiment. His dad is very supportive and is, happy-go-lucky. His mom, not so much. His mom is stressed. She's worried. I think any parent would be worried that their child has decided to go down this route, but we'll see how it plays out. We'll see if that marriage actually works, because we're still to meet the wife. I'm a bit worried about Becca, because Becca comes across as not serious. But then when she talks about her history, the fact that she's got endometriosis, she's had this surgery on her spine, and all the health problems that she's had to deal with, I think this is why she finds the humor in most things. Austin comes across as very mellow. So if he's anything like Austin, who was matched to Jess, then I have high hopes for them that they will actually work. I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. I think because Austin's mom is very worried about the person he's being matched with, I hope the two of them are willing to put in the work, because I think if they're both willing to put in the work, they could be a successful couple. And then Cameron and Clare, I like Cameron and Clare. Even Becca and Austin, I think I really like them. The first two couples I'm worried, but Cameron and Clare. Cameron, apparently his parents got divorced, so he stayed with his dad, who was a traveling salesman, and then he then eventually moved, I think, to the States, and he's got his adopted family who have sort of supported him in most of the things that he's done. He does tell them that, he is signed up for Married at First Sight and will be getting married to a stranger. And they're a bit surprised because they say he's quite picky, so they don't understand how he's ended up on the experiment. But hey, it is what it is. And so they are excited for him, and it's surprising that he didn't tell his dad, though, that he was getting married to a stranger. Or maybe he thought his dad wouldn't support him, or maybe the producers told him that they needed someone visually to be there for him to sort of tell, but he could have easily, Skyped his dad or whatever. But anyway, I digress. Claire Claire is a quadruplet. Apparently, her brother took his own life, so it's only her and her two sisters left. She comes across as very caring. I think she said she's a social worker, so she comes across as very loving, caring, and empathetic. And I think, given the way that Cameron grew up, the two of them could actually make it work. They are a couple that I have high hopes for. I am anxious about Orian and Lauren. I don't know where those two will stand, and Emily and Brennan. I am worried about them, but it seems like this season they've decided to go for an older bunch. So I hope that having cast older participants, they will have more successful marriages, because last season we only ended up with the wild card. So I don't know. We'll see how that plays out. So you have Emily and Brennan going to shop for their outfits, and it's like, oh my God, Emily is so nervous. At least she didn't swear, but she was becoming a diva, a bridezilla, and it wasn't a good look. It wasn't a good look, because you have Brennan, who's very mellow and very calm, who's saying he's in it for the long haul. Whatever happens, all he wants is his bride to be willing to put in the work, and he wants to get to know her and know why the experts matched him with his bride. On the other side, you have Emily. She's all over the place. She won't come out. She's trying dress after dress after dress until the producers, I think, were tired. So they gave her a mobile phone to record herself. And her friends are sitting in the waiting area, busy gossiping about her. She needs better friends. She does. Because the way they criticize her and her lack of experience in a relationship is terrible. It's terrible. If they, as her friends, can talk about her so badly, what about strangers? How will strangers talk about her? Oh my God, you don't need enemies when you have them as friends, because they keep going on. She's never been in a relationship. She doesn't know how to compromise. And it's like, oh my God, can you make it any worse? Why give the producers and the viewers ammunition to attack her? You are the ones who should be supporting her and should be speaking positivity into her instead of tearing her down. What do you think, how do you think she's going to feel when she sees all this and she sees all the nasty things you are saying about her? Oh my God, I really don't like her friends or family members that came to look for a gown with her. I really hope she mellows down, because Brennan seems like a great guy. He seems like he's in it for the right reason. So as long as she herself doesn't become a drama queen, they will have a successful marriage. That's the impression that I'm getting from Brennan and how he's presenting himself. Next up is Orian and Lauren going for their shopping. So Lauren's mom passed away in April, and she's still grieving. You can see she's still grieving, because while she's trying her dresses, she's teary because she misses her mom and she wishes her mom was present to see her on her big day, to see her choose her wedding gown, because this is something, that she would have wanted to see for her daughter. She does speak about the fact that, she did try her mom's wedding gown, and that's the first time she tried on a wedding dress. And so she has a breakdown, which is to be expected. And it makes me worry, because I wonder, is she ready for marriage, or should she maybe have gone to bereavement counseling? But then when you look at Orion, he looks like he's a very caring person. He's very laid back. He's very relaxed. So I think they could complement one another, because it seems this season they've tried to go for all the participants. And I hope in going for all the participants, that means these people are in it for the right reasons, and they're going to do everything to make their marriages work, and they're not going to be after the drama or just being famous. So I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. But they both seem like a cute match. I am worried, about some of the things that they've discussed in regards to their sexuality and whether they'll be accepting of one another. But I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. It's only episode 1, so we have a lot more to look forward to. The Bachelor and Bachelorette parties were a disaster. A disaster. It was mayhem, because you always have that one person that will act out, and this season didn't disappoint. Oh my God, Emily, the way she was dancing and she was, flashing people. They had to cover up her privates because she kept flashing people. Even Lauren had to give it up to her and say, oh my God, Emily is over the top. It's interesting how Lauren and Orion, we're talking about the same thing. We're talking about the size of, men's packages. And Orian is going on about, oh, has your girth ever been too wide that, your partner doesn't enjoy it, and you are, and it's just like, please don't, please keep quiet, please keep quiet, please sit somewhere. That was awkward, and all the guys felt uncomfortable. And it's like, why are the producers showing this? This is someone who's about to get married. What do they think his in-laws will think when they see that this is sort of the stuff that he was saying? I didn't like that. And Claire and Cameron are the same person, because they were both running from the strippers, and it's just like, oh my god, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. At least they are on, they are aligned on that they respect one another, and they don't want to do anything that would, cause harm to the other person's family. So I thought that was cute. And so we have the first wedding, which is Emily and Brennan. And if Emily's friends talk about her never having been in a relationship one more time, I'm going to lose my rag. It's not necessary. It's her wedding day. Encourage her, uplift her, shower her with love. You don't need to be tearing her down and scaring her and telling her that. What do you think you're going to say to your husband when he asks you why you've never been in a relationship? Now is not the time. It's really not the time for you to bring that up. You don't need to say all of that. You should just sit there. If you have nothing good to say, keep quiet. You don't need to bring that up. And Brennan, on his part, is worried, obviously, because he seems to be in it for the right reasons. And I think given the fact that some guys have gone on the show for the right reasons and their partners have refused to have anything to do with him, I think this is his biggest worry. So I don't know. We'll see how it plays out, because I really wonder what it is about Emily not having been in a relationship is causing her friends to keep bringing it up. So I'm very curious to see what it is, and hopefully we'll see it soon. The producers ain't shit. Really, they ain't. Because they've really given Emily this wild child edit, in the sense that they had her standing there panicking and drinking alcohol. Was it wine or champagne? Glass after glass after glass. And it's like, make it stop. She's going to embarrass herself in front of her new husband. They love it because it's good for ratings. But then you think, but you're messing about with somebody else's life. That's not fair. On the other side, you have Brennan with his parents, and they keep going on. We only get married once. And he's talking about he's not getting a divorce. And it's like, what if she wants a divorce? What are you going to do? Force her in the marriage? Force her to stay in this marriage even if she's miserable? That's not fair. Yes, it's good that he says he's in it for the right reasons, but I think he needs to stop with the, I'm in it for the long haul, where there's no going back, there's no divorce. And it's like, oh my God. And his dad, the way Brennan's dad looked at him, and you could tell the mother knew it was being recorded, so she was trying to put on a good front, but the dad kept saying, this is one of the worst decisions you've made. And it's just like, oh my God, make it stop. Emily's friends at some point had to give up, because they kept going on about, oh, she's never been in a relationship. How are you going to explain to your husband why you've never been in a relationship? And it's like, please, make it stop. You don't need to go on anymore. What do you want her to do? Do you want her to break down and start crying? And you could see she was about to have a panic attack, because she kept opening the door and going out. And I think the producers were worried that, oh my God, what if she runs? What if she runs away? Because she keeps opening this door. I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. But I really hate the edit they've given Emily, especially if she's going to stay married to this man. It's going to be terrible. And the way that he insists that, he's not getting divorced. Are they trying to say something? Are they trying to show us that he is the one who opted for the divorce then? Make it make sense. It was nice to see how excited Brennan was when he saw his bride. Although Emily, she shouldn't have drunk that much. She should have had something to eat first. So they do exchange their vows, and it was cute because most of it seemed the same, especially what their families wrote about them, the fact that they are both outgoing, they both, like to talk. And so it was cute to see how excited when they realized that they had that in common. Their vows were sweet, but I was very uncomfortable with the way Emily is intoxicated. That is she going to do anything to embarrass herself in front of her new in-laws? I kept having nightmares of her vomiting all over the place. But the wedding seemed to go through smoothly. They both seemed excited, although Brennan comes across as the more mellow of the two. So I'm hoping that they'll be able to balance each other out. I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. At least at this point, we don't have anyone who sort of, we can see their major red flags, but we'll see. I think it takes until after the honeymoon. Yeah, we've had a couple of, people misbehave on the honeymoon, but I'm hoping that at least given the fact that these people are in their late 20s and sort of 30s, they're going to be more well behaved, and that they're in the process for the right reasons, and they're not in it just to be on TV. So we'll see how that plays out. Anyway, it was a great first episode. I didn't realize that I missed the matchmaking episode last week. I was so exhausted. I wasn't feeling well, but hey, it is what it is. I digress. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And click the link in my video to watch my reviews from season 16. Bye everyone.